Earth. In this show, we'll go wild with the Animaniacs, make some noise at a football match, check out pets of the future, and put a monster in your pocket. It's explosive. It's Cybernet. It's out there somewhere. Prepare to submerge yourself in a dark world of paranoia, conspiracies, and aliens with the X-Files on the PlayStation. A spooky, interactive movie experience that puts you on the trail of missing agents Mulder and Scully. Meet Craig Wilmore, a nosy FBI agent who you must control on your adventure. An adventure that begins with an unexpected visit.
So who's the big gun from D.C.?
I think his name is Skinner. Assistant Director Skinner.
And you soon discover that he needs your help.
Two of my agents are missing, Fox Mulder and Dana Scully. I haven't heard from them in 3 days. I'm extremely concerned.
The game has a simple and effective interface that lets you explore and examine your possessions and surroundings. You guide Wilmore through various locations by clicking on the screen. Then you're able to speak with any of the characters you meet, and they'll give you information that'll help you find Mulder and Scully.
Two FBI agents who checked in here.
Despite the fact that you have to collect clues and solve puzzles, there's not much in this game to test your brain. You'll often find that your options are limited, and you're stuck in the story on a preset path.
Finally, something that looks like evidence.
The X-Files is quite atmospheric, but never really that absorbing, thanks to some uninteresting and tedious gameplay. Fans of the series will enjoy the movie aspects, but as a game, it's slightly lacking.
After 5 years at the Bureau, you should know better. I need your badge and gun.
There's no avoiding the Animaniacs. After appearing in a disappointing platform game, Wacko, Yakko and Dot have returned to challenge Thaddeus J. Plot, Dr. Scratch and Sniff and Ralph the Guard to a game of paintball. This is Animaniacs Splatball for the PC. You take control of our three heroes as they run around movie sets, firing at their enemies and trying to avoid getting covered with paint. The aim of the game is to capture your opponent's balloon and return it to your own base. Of course, you also have to prevent your own balloon from being stolen, as you need to possess them both in order to win the game. When a character gets covered in paint, he has to return to base to take a shower. This keeps him out of the action until he's clean enough to continue. The cartoon animation is very good, and the game should appeal to younger players. It offers 3 levels of difficulty and 16 different power-ups, including sneezing pellets and paint grenades. Animaniacs Splatball is a very simple title, but it's an original game that has a lot of appeal. So grab your paint gun and prepare to get splattered. If you're a football-loving PlayStation owner, then here's the game you've been waiting all year to see. FIFA 99 was regarded by many as the greatest football game ever, and here's an exclusive first look at the inevitable sequel, FIFA 2000.
The referee not taking the challenge there. Ronaldo.
As well as updating the team and player information, a number of minor improvements have been made to the game. The crowd are now better animated and are able to chant the names of players who are performing well in the match. The gameplay is slightly faster, and you can avoid being tackled by placing your body between your opponent and the ball.
Doing well there to keep the ball.
Needless to say, the game retains its fantastic playability and the incredible player animations that have made the FIFA series such a success.
And the celebrations are, well, bizarre to say the least.
Some people may say that FIFA 99 was so good it doesn't need a sequel, but if the follow-up looks as good as this does, then we can't wait to review it. We could almost get as excited as the players themselves. Well, almost. Now here's something to shout about, our all-format top 10 chart from around the world. With props from Jurassic Park, Siphon Filter starts our rundown at number 10. Chased by a camera and who knows what else, Silent Hill remains frozen in fear at 9. Catching a quick ride on whatever he can, Crop 2 dodges disaster in 8th place this week. Whilst peering through the mist and gloom, the X-Files makes its first appearance, going straight in at number 7. In 6th, reaching the summit and blasting off in search of the leaders, it's Wipeout 3. Battered and bruised in 5th place are those lovable brawlers from WWF Attitude. And at number 4, the season's only just begun for FA Premier League stars. In 3rd, the chase looks almost over for the man in the Mustang in Driver. Flying in extra troops for the final assault, Command and Conquer Tiberian Sun pushes up to 2nd place. But standing firm in the midst of a battle, Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver is this week's number 1. If you love animals, but the thought of owning an attention-demanding, fur-shedding pet makes you shudder, think again. The amazing pace of technology has now produced a completely new type of companion, and you can find out all about them on the net. Abo, the robot dog, is an incredible glimpse into the future, but amazingly, it's available right now. Abo is the Japanese word for pal, and that's exactly what this robot is, as it turns from an unsteady pup into an agile adult that learns from its experiences and environment. If you treat Abo well, he'll respond with affectionate behaviour and may even sing you a song. These features are based in complex mechanics and computer software, and this is where Abo is truly astonishing. A 180,000 pixel colour camera in Abo's head lets it avoid obstacles and even search for colours that it likes. A sensor will allow it to develop attachments to people who stroke it, and 18 different powered joints means it can move fast and flexibly. Abo will perform tricks and can be taught to sit and lie down just like a real dog. If two robot dogs meet, they can interact and even have a game of football, which we're told is very entertaining to watch. Abo is much more than just a toy. This is one of the first commercially available robots that's truly intelligent. With people living in cramped environments, often high up in apartment blocks, Abo could represent the future of pets. Yes, you are watching robots playing football. These are the Honda humanoid robots, which have been in development for over 10 years. With their incredible sense of balance, these cute characters can even walk upstairs. The commercial potential of these friendly-looking robots is immediately obvious. These mechanoids can perform tasks or work in environments that are too dangerous for humans. So, if the internet is to be believed, robots will be playing a major part in our lives sooner than we think. Now let's watch that action replay. This is Homeworld, a strategy game with one rather remarkable feature: originality. Created by the same team who programmed Half-Life, it's achieved what many thought was impossible: an exciting real-time strategy game based in the rather large, empty area we call space. What the programmer has managed to achieve by producing Homeworld hasn't gone unnoticed by another, more famous games designer.
I'd been thinking about a space battle game for a long time, but it always bothered me that how do you keep the suspense going when three spaces are just a big black void? And he managed to cover that by allowing the scalability into the engines and this grand epic of a game that has just millions of ships flying around.
Without interactive, detailed environments, Homeworld has had to find other ways to become exciting and fun. Most importantly, it uses a control system that's surprisingly simple. Once you've learned how to use it, in the excellent training missions, you'll be able to quickly find, control and issue orders to any of your ships at any time. And as every ship looks stunning, you could spend hours simply watching them carry out their tasks. Whether they're collecting resources, scouting new areas, or heading into battle, the graphics and animation will often amaze you. Together with its balanced missions, brilliant multiplayer mode, and an engrossing storyline, Homeworld is a truly epic game. space has never been more enjoyable. Okay, time for our competition now, so grab a pen. This week's prize is a PlayStation and a copy of Legend of Cartier to play on it. So prepare for this courageous quest and get to grips with the might and majesty of this battling adventure. To win this prize, call our number and answer this question. Who was the first man on the moon? Was it A, Michael Jackson, B, Neil Armstrong, or C, Arnold Schwarzenegger? If you think you know, call 0660 113333. Please dial carefully and don't forget to ask permission from the person who pays the telephone bill first. We'll put up the question and number again at the end of today's show, so get dialing and good luck. Coming up, we tumble at high speed, go on the rampage and find out what's behind the latest monster craze.
Remember the first time.
Dead inside, but still alive, soul that bleeds and churns. Whilst many first-person action games have good and occasionally brilliant single-player scenarios, it's the multiplayer mode that has really kept these titles popular. And while the world waits for Quake 3 Arena to appear, Unreal Tournament has filled the void and has instantly become the best multiplayer game we've played. Whilst you can play against other people over a network or the internet, you can also pitch yourself against a variety of bots or computer-controlled opponents. Unlike many titles, the bots in Unreal Tournament are incredibly intelligent. Set the game to easy and they'll simply rush at you madly, firing all over the place. However, try a more difficult setting and they'll begin using tactics, seeking health when injured, collecting power-ups just before an attack, and aiming more accurately than Robin Hood. But no matter how good the opposition is, be it computer or human, the gameplay would be nothing without great weapons and great levels. And fortunately, this title has both. With weapons ranging from explosive rocket launchers to big yellow flak cannons, you'll have to use different tactics depending on which one you pick up. And the levels? Well, they're some of the most imaginative and well-designed we've seen. Our favourite has to be the Galleon, an entire level based on a pirate ship. The game also has a host of different modes to choose from, including the fantastic Assault, where you have to lead a group of bots against the opposition. Especially gorgeous if you own a Voodoo-based graphics card. Unreal Tournament has everything a multiplayer gamer needs. If you've ever been stuck for a word, wondered what a word meant, or wanted to know how something works, then the Visual Dictionary is for you. This immense CD-ROM has 28 chapters covering 6,000 subjects with 3,500 images. The dictionary contains such diverse subjects as photography, the human body, and space. Each picture can be clicked on to reveal the names of certain parts or components. As well as English, each word is translated into French and German with a total of 25,000 words. Did you know that each part of a deer's antler has a different name? If not, you'll find this a very useful package, as something can be learned every time you access the information. Those of you more used to sophisticated images may find the Visual Dictionary disappointing, but it's still a hugely useful resource. Another great title that's fun and educational is Maths Ace Junior. Here you join Bitbot the robot as you explore his submarine, and he gives you maths problems to solve. There are 15 essential mathematical concepts to get to grips with, but don't get bored just yet, as these numerical tasks are more like games than hard work. Playing Mathematics Ace Junior, a child couldn't fail to improve their mathematical skills. As with the visual dictionary, the graphics may look dated, but the games are fun and educational. Apart from improving your maths, you get to travel the world's oceans sucking up fish in a giant hoover, and it doesn't get much better than that. Riding super-fast motorcycles around a racetrack may look like fantastic fun, but it's one of the most dangerous sports in the world. Now, thanks to GP500 on the PC, fans can experience all the thrills of the sport without the danger from the safety of their own living room chair. Despite several good bike games appearing over the last year, GP500 is quite simply the most realistic and impressive two-wheeled racer in the world. Handling your 200-mile-per-hour machine is scary and actually demands concentration. But when you finally overtake someone by powering out of a corner and laying some rubber on the track, well, there's nothing more satisfying. Graphically, GP500 is astonishing. The bikes bump and weave when you apply the brakes or accelerate hard, and the riders react to every obstacle thrown at them.
It's nice to choose different riders because it looks exactly like them. So on the game, you know, to actually be racing in a race and to come up on them, it's just like what we see through our helmets. So, you know, it kind of, without all the work, you're able to achieve the same thing. So it's nice in that way.
Initially, it'll seem hard to stay on the track, let alone win a race, but the game is compelling because the racing is so competitive and demands some real strategy. You can even increase the skill of the other riders to make the game more challenging. GP500 is not only an excellent bike game, but an amazing achievement on the PC. If you're bored with Formula One cars or want something better, then two-wheeled thrills don't come any more exciting than this. Turning to four wheels now, ever since the days of F197, PlayStation owners have been deprived of a decent Formula One racer. With the miserable F198 almost forgotten, we had high hopes for this year's offering F199. Sadly, it's a big disappointment again. The presentation of the game is not that bad. The cars and tracks look suitably authentic and the action is certainly fast. But it has some very rough edges and tends to suffer from some glaring flaws, such as cars who manage to overtake by driving straight through solid walls. The worst part of the game, though, is the handling of your vehicle. It's just not responsive enough, making the races frustrating and not particularly fun to play. Add to this some awful sound effects, and you have another game that simply hopes to sell because of its license. F199 is better than last year's effort, but we expected a lot more.
Oh dear, he's in the gravel trap.
It's been out for nearly a year, but Zelda on the N64 still holds a few surprises, as these unusual tactics reveal. If you thought that the evil Ganon was the most dangerous citizen of Hyrule, then you obviously haven't picked a fight with a chicken. If you bully one of the birds for too long, you'll prompt a call for reinforcements. Before you know it, a whole flock of chickens will arrive to drive you off. Against such an assault, even the legendary Link doesn't stand a chance. Run away. To recover, try using this handy tip. Find one of the Gothic stones and play Zelda's lullaby to it. In return for this serenade, a fairy will appear and replace all your energy. As a reward, why not send the Gothic stone on a trip to outer space? Simply place the bomb next to it and wait for blast-off. Just make sure you leave them enough room to launch. It's the phenomenon that sweeping the world. The tiny handheld game called Pokemon, and it's driving children crazy. Pokemon are the best! And the excitement it generates in kids shows no sign of waning. They simply can't get enough of it.
I like that you can collect all the characters and train them so they fight really well. It's really exciting and you have to think about it to play it. I like their attacks. One's a fire Pokemon, the other's an electric Pokemon. The first three Pokemon evolved from one Pokemon. So Charmander evolved into Charmeleon, which evolved into Charizard. And I picked up Charmander as my first Pokemon.
Charmander, eh? You're not the only one who's picked up this red dragon, but where did this craze for collecting electronic monsters start? Well, it all began in a land far, far away. Japan. The first Pokemon game was released 2 years ago on the Game Boy and has sold over 8 million cartridges. Since then, the Japanese have snapped up every Pokemon product they can get their hands on. There have been trading cards, music CDs, comic books, cuddly toys, a TV show, and a Japanese airline has even converted its planes into flying Pokemon with the game's mascot, Pikachu, as its star. One shop in downtown Tokyo sells nothing but Pokemon merchandise, and you can buy everything from fridge magnets to coffee mugs. And now the incredible craze is reaching new shores with the very first Pokemon cartridges arriving by sea, destined for tiny European hands. England was chosen as the launch hotspot, and it was there that the game landed, soon to be whisked away under heavy escort to a secret warehouse location. Cybernet managed to dodge the security and find out exactly what the game's all about.
The Game Boy game is quite a complicated game, which takes a little bit of getting into, but it's very, very compelling once you've done it, and there's a lot of depth. You basically have to catch all 150 Pokemon, and you do that by walking around Pokeworld, finding the Pokemon, and then trying to capture them. But in order to collect all 150, you have to train your Pokemon up, and then you have to find friends who have got some of the Pokemon characters which you haven't got, and then swap them with them via a link lead which joins two Game Boys together.
And it doesn't end there. Pokemon Stadium will allow you to use your saved Game Boy monsters on the N64 and compete with your friends. And in Pokemon Snap, players go on safari and track down the monsters with a camera. They then photograph them and collect the pictures in an album. And with Pokemon the movie just released in Japan, it looks like the phenomenon is here to stay. You lucky, lucky children. That's it, there is no more. We'll be back again soon, but until then, why not try our competition to win a console? And remember, keep it Cybernet.